About a year ago, I was staying at my grandparents' house while they were out of town. Around 3 a.m., I woke up because I heard someone slowly walking down the hallway. I figured it was the house settling until the footsteps stopped right outside my bedroom door. I waited for a knock, but nothing happened. After about 30 seconds, I worked up the courage to open the door. The hallway was completely empty, but every single kitchen cabinet downstairs was wide open. I know I closed them before going to bed because I'd made myself food that night. I slept with every light on until morning and never agreed to stay there alone again. I was home alone one night around 2 a.m., just scrolling on my phone with my headphones on. Out of nowhere, I thought I heard faint music. I took my headphones off, and that's when I realized the saxophones started getting louder. At first, I laughed because it sounded so random, but every minute they got louder and closer, like someone was walking around my house playing them. I checked every room, looked outside, and there was nobody there. The second I went back into my bedroom, the music instantly stopped. To this day, I still have no idea where it came from, and none of my neighbors heard anything. I still think about it every time I'm awake late at night.
I used to work the closing shift at a grocery store. Every night, I had to walk through the empty aisles before locking up. One night, I heard faint jazz music coming from the storage room. I laughed because I thought one of my coworkers left their phone playing. Then the saxophones started getting louder. I opened the storage room door. There was nobody inside. The music stopped the second I stepped in. I quit 2 weeks later for completely unrelated reasons, but I still think about that night. Story 3. My grandma always told me never to answer the front door after midnight unless I was expecting someone. I never believed her until last winter. At exactly 12:17 a.m., someone knocked 3 times. I stayed quiet, hoping they'd leave. Instead, the saxophones started getting louder. It sounded like a full jazz band was standing on my porch. I looked through the peephole. There was nobody there. The knocking never happened again. Story 1. When I was 13, my parents bought an old house that everyone in town said was full of history. I thought they were just trying to scare me. One night around 2 a.m., I woke up because I heard music outside my bedroom window. At first, I thought someone was playing music from a car. Then the saxophones started getting louder. The weird part was that there weren't any cars outside. I looked through the blinds and the street was completely empty. The music suddenly stopped. The next morning, my dad asked why I was walking around the house in the middle of the night.
I got a voicemail from my own phone number, but I don't remember recording it. I was home alone late at night when my phone started ringing. I looked down and saw the caller ID. It was my own number. I thought it was just some weird glitch, so I ignored it. A few seconds later, I got a voicemail notification. The voicemail was only 8 seconds long. When I played it, I heard my own voice whispering, "Don't open the door." I immediately froze because at that exact moment, someone knocked. I told myself it was probably a neighbor or someone messing around. But then my phone got another voicemail. Same number, same voice. This time it said, "They're going to knock 3 times. Don't answer." And right after I heard it, knock, 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 I stood there completely still. I didn't move. I didn't say anything. After a few minutes, whoever was outside left. The next morning, I checked my phone because I wanted to prove to myself it was some kind of glitch. But both voicemails were gone. Except for one thing. My phone showed that I had sent myself a message at 3:14 a.m. The message said, "Thank you for listening. My security camera recorded someone entering my house, but I live alone." I was checking my camera footage because I heard weird noises downstairs at night. I expected to see my cat knocking something over, but instead, I saw someone walking into my house. The strange part? They were using the front door. The same front door I locked before going to sleep. I watched the video over and over trying to recognize them. They were wearing a hoodie, and their face was hidden the entire time. Then I noticed something that made my stomach drop. They weren't walking around like they were breaking in. They were walking around like they lived there. They went into the kitchen, opened cabinets, sat on the couch. Then they looked directly at the camera. I thought maybe they somehow knew where it was. But then they did something even stranger. They waved. I immediately called the police and waited outside. When they arrived, they checked every room. Nobody was there. No broken windows. No unlocked doors. Nothing. The officer looked confused and asked me, "How long have you lived here?" I told him almost a year. Then he showed me something on his phone. It was a picture from the previous owner's listing, and in the background was the exact same person standing in the kitchen. My neighbor told me to never answer the door after midnight. I laughed until it happened. I moved into a new apartment a few months ago, and my neighbor seemed like a normal guy. One night while we were talking, he randomly said, "Whatever you do, don't open your door if someone knocks after midnight." I laughed and asked him why. He just looked at me and said, "Because it won't be a person you know." I thought he was just trying to scare me.
Door and whispered, "Don't let her know you can see me." I froze because he was supposed to be staying at my dad's house that whole week. My phone buzzed with a text from my mom. "Where are you?" I looked back at the stairs and my little brother was gone. Then someone knocked 3 times from inside the attic.